If your inbox looks like mine, you're constantly hit with lists of 50 new apps you supposedly need to try right now to keep up. But creating an account for every viral platform doesn't optimize your day. Patching together a dozen random applications shatters your focus and actually grinds your existing workflow to a halt. The problem we face today is no longer finding AI tools. There are thousands of them. The actual challenge is identifying the vital few that justify your time, your proprietary data, and your subscription budget. To make that decision, you have to weigh the central trade-off governing the current landscape, the balance between friction and control. Platforms built for low friction are easy to use, but they strip away nuance. Platforms built for high control give you exactly what you want, but demand steep learning curves and cash up front. So we are going to ignore the blanket listicles. Instead, we'll use a scenario match framework to evaluate these tools based strictly on your professional realities. This flowchart illustrates where you should actually begin. Before opening a single AI website, you have to map your exact daily bottleneck to determine which path to take. Let's start with the first major bottleneck we all face: gathering factual data, researching current events, and synthesizing information. If you throw these tasks into a default conversational model like standard ChatGPT, you get a highly readable, instant response written in a friendly tone. However, relying on that low-friction approach comes with a severe cost. You run a high risk of the model hallucinating confident-sounding facts, with absolutely zero verifiable citations to check its work. This brings us to a specific scenario match: purpose-built AI search engines like Perplexity, designed from the ground up to track their sources. Looking at this comparison matrix, we can measure standard ChatGPT directly against Perplexity to see exactly where they diverge. Perplexity's focus on fact-finding means its primary output is a linked bibliography. It reads your prompt, searches the live web, and attaches footnote links to original sources so you can verify the claims. But the trade-off here is structural. Because it is optimized for search, it is notably less capable at creative ideation, and it occasionally trips up when trying to interpret complex Boolean logic constraints. For pure research scenarios, the necessity for verifiable truth has to override the desire for a conversational chat. Next, we move to the visual bottleneck: the rapid creation of aesthetic mockups and project imagery. If you rely on high-control, Discord-based generators like Midjourney, the output is striking. You get photorealistic, commercial-grade visual assets tailored to your exact specifications. Getting that level of quality requires navigating an exceptionally steep learning curve. You have to learn complex parameter syntax and aspect ratio commands, creating massive friction for a casual user. The opposing scenario relies on embedded, UI-friendly tools, like the AI features built directly into Canva. This matrix shows the operational divide between a standalone giant like Midjourney and Canva's embedded AI suite. Canva gives you instant drag-and-drop integration. You generate an image and immediately place it into your existing slide deck or social post without leaving the browser. The compromise is aesthetic. The absolute ceiling for image fidelity is significantly lower, and the system frequently outputs rigid, generic styles. Ultimately, your visual tool choice depends on whether your project requires a bespoke final masterpiece or just an immediate functional placeholder. Finally, we reach the most resource-intensive bottleneck: analyzing long-form documents and refactoring complex code bases. These tasks require brute force. You need the ability to upload massive document batches and hold them in 100,000 token context windows. For this scale of data retention, advanced models like Claude become the necessary destination. By utilizing these heavy-duty models, you get highly nuanced, consistent analysis. They can parse massive code bases or read entire PDF books without losing the thread halfway through. Looking at this final comparison matrix, we map premium tiers like Claude directly against the standard free language models. The first major hurdle is financial. Unlocking these massive context windows requires a recurring $20 monthly subscription. Beyond the cash, there is a heavy cognitive overhead. You have to learn how to construct complex master prompts that successfully guide the AI through thousands of lines of data. When dealing with enormous datasets, absorbing that monetary and cognitive friction is mandatory if you want to achieve professional-grade leverage. Every tool we've examined reinforces the same dynamic. Your ultimate choice of AI destination is a direct trade between the friction you are willing to endure and the control you demand. To make this actionable, we can categorize these tools into two distinct technology stacks, based entirely on your professional profile. We've built this scorecard to clearly define these two user archetypes. First is the time-poor generalist. If your priority is moving fast, you live in the zero-friction stack, utilizing standard ChatGPT and embedded tools like Canva AI. By limiting your adoption to free, UI-friendly tools, you guarantee immediate integration into your workday. There is zero upfront study time required. The trade-off you accept is a hard capability ceiling. Your outputs will be perfectly functional, but largely generic. The second archetype is the workflow optimizer. If precision is your priority, you operate in the Pro Optimizer stack, utilizing tools like Perplexity, Midjourney, and Claude. Here, you consolidate your budget into a few premium platforms. This yields maximum computational leverage and highly bespoke outputs tailored exactly to your needs. The strict requirement for this stack is a dedicated weekly time commitment. You have to study shifting syntax, track model updates, and constantly refine your prompting structure. The rule is simple. Never adopt an AI tool looking for a problem to solve. Identify your highest friction daily task first, and only adopt the specific destination built to target it.